Hello, welcome to the shed. On today's video, I'm going to be showing how I made my homemade 2x72 sander. And I use it to make knives, sharpen blades and stuff. A subscriber of mine asked me to do a video on how I made it. His name's Kevin Robertson. Go out and check his page. He has lots of great videos. He does knife works. He does little just odd and end jobs around the house. Recently he repaired a boat. He showed a couple fishing videos, and he worked on campers here recently. He makes a lot of good videos, just basically the average handyman type of stuff, and I really enjoy his videos. So today I'm going to just show you. I'm not going to be building one because I already have one, don't need another one, so I'll just explain a little bit how I made this one. Okay, what I did was took this 2-inch square tubing. It's left over from a project my son did. And then I have this other tubing that slides in and out of it. It's probably about 1.5 inches, a little over 1.5 inches. And that just left over from another project we did. I went online, watched a whole bunch of different videos, and I didn't really see nothing exactly that I liked or was easy to build, so I just kind of put a few of them together and I came up with this design. And it's welded. I'm a terrible welder, but hey, it's been working for 2 years, so we're going to say it's a success. And then I've got these pieces of angle line as supports to bolt it onto the table. And all it is just some bed frame. So if you ever have some old bed frame, just keep them and you may find projects you could use them for. And in the top here, the tension, it just slides in and out, and they have a spring down in the bottom. And as you tighten up the belt, it pulls down the spring, keeps tension on it. When I first built this, I didn't have a motor. I took a motor off of an old lathe I had, and I tried that out, and it worked, but it just wasn't powerful enough. So I went to good old Harbor Freight and bought this motor. It's a 1.5 horsepower. And it has plenty of power. It turns it really fast enough, and it's been working, say, for about 2 years now without any problems. I think it has a 5/8 shaft, and I just cut a bunch of pieces of wood with a circle cutting bit and attached it onto this, and that's my drive wheel. This part I explain a little bit later when I put the belt. You can see what this is for. Okay, come around to this side. You can see how it just slides in and out. And what I did, I just drilled a hole a little bit bigger than whatever bolt I was using, and then welded a nut on so you could tighten it up. So if you put this in, and after you get your belt all tensioned up, you could pull this out as hard as you can and then just tighten this up, and it'll hold it. And then this one is for, actually, I made this. It is wood, because I couldn't find a piece of square tubing the right size to go in the end, and it just slides in here. And you just have a little work base right here. And it seems to work pretty good. And this is the tracking wheel. And all I did for that was on this smaller piece of square tubing that rides in here that's on the spring, I welded this piece just to bring it further out to line up better with the other wheels. And then I took a piece of the larger tubing and cut it at this angle and put a bolt through it. And same thing as I did on the bottom, I drilled a hole, welded this nut on, and you could just turn this knob and you have a tracking to where it keeps the belt centered on the wheels. Okay, on the tensioning bar, you can see got these pieces of plastic here, and all it is some pieces, I think it's like shampoo bottles. As I mentioned earlier, it fit kind of loose, so when I put this down in here, and it actually helps it to slide up and down, and it seems to help it a whole lot. It works well. Okay, when I bought the motor, it didn't come with any wiring, but it had wiring directions. You can make it turn right or left, either way you wanted it. And I wired it up with some old extension cord wire I had. I brought it to this switch where you can just turn it on and off. And then I have a plug that you plug it into the wall. It's been working fine. Works great. Just when you're working in the front here, it's very easy just to flip the switch on and off. And now I'm going to show you how to put the belt on. Just put it around the two main pulleys, come around the top, and you push it down, slide this out till it gets tension, and you tighten up on the bolts I showed you earlier. Oh, forgot to plug it in. Okay, got it plugged in now. Let's see how it works. That's usually where I like to work with. It's still a slack belt, but it's closer to the wheel to where it's still pretty stiff. And I said I sharpened a little more blades, made a few knives. I'm not great at it, but I did make a few. And it seems to work really well. And a while ago I told you I was going to explain to you what this thing is on this side. And just like when I had the other wheels and you had that back plate, they call it a platen, I think it's called. I did the same thing with this. Just welded another bigger piece of square tubing and made this smaller one. And this is that same kind of piece of bed frame I was talking about earlier. And you just can put it close to the belt. And when you want to sand, it holds it real stiff and it does a really good job. Welds look like crap, like I said earlier. I'm not a welder, but it does work really well. And it's very simple to make if you can do a little welding and stuff and find the materials. The reason I had built this, because I started watching knife videos and I kind of got interested, and I had a little a 1x42 inch belt sander, and I made a couple of knives with that, but it just took a lot longer. And it seemed everybody's always talking about these 2x72s, and I started looking into them. And them things run like $1,500 to like $2,000, and you can even go a lot higher than that if you want to. So I said, you know, I couldn't afford nothing like that. I never will. So I decided just to put pieces together. The wheels, I forgot to mention anything about the wheels. I just found on the internet. I searched and searched and found some decently priced wheels. I think the first ones I bought was 2 of them, like for 27 bucks. And then I happened to run across these wheels. I really love these wheels. These got some good bearings in it. Turns really easy. I paid only like 10 or 11 bucks a piece for these wheels. I wish I could remember where I bought them. I think I bought 3 or 4 of them at the time, and this first one's been holding up really well for me, so I really like it. Okay, I think I covered just about everything. Like I said, a subscriber asked me to do this, and I'm gonna try to put some links down below so you can go and check his website out. I said I really like his videos. He does a lot of just basic around the house type projects, and I say he makes some pretty cool knives. I love to learn how he does the mirror finish on those knives. I can't even come close to that. Okay, I think I just covered just about everything on this. All I can think of, at least. It turned out to be a pretty good sander for me. It works out really well. Like I said, maybe a couple of times I already may repeating myself. I just hate to talk to the camera. I don't like the sound of my own voice, and I'm really not comfortable with doing this yet. So let me know if you have any comments below. If you think I should have did something different, maybe I can make a better video next time. Thank you for watching.